You ready? Yeah. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Okay. First thing on our agenda tonight is the HEB proposal for Row Bridge. I was going to give the engineering report to Robin, but he's not here. So, Denny, did you want to take a look at it?
Yeah, I'll look at it.
All right. And then when you're finished with it, could you get it back to me so I can pass it along?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it, Cindy has seen it. So I'd like everyone to take a look at it, all right? And I took a few notes from there. They gave 3 options for Row Bridge. The first one was I'll give you the dollar amount first. It was $890,000. And they were looking at a 40-foot span to replace it with a 40-foot span. Problems are, it meets New Hampshire's requirement for a 50-year storm, but it does not meet New Hampshire remains stream crossing requirement. And it also doesn't meet the Maine DOT hydraulic requirement for the 50-year storm. So we're going to have require waivers from Maine DOT and New Hampshire, if that option is chosen. The second option they gave us was a dollar amount of $1.4 million. It's a 62-foot span. It still does not meet Maine DOT hydraulic requirements. And also, meeting Maine bridge standards is not feasible without significant roadway design, removal of upstream dam, or significant channel restructuring. So, that 1.4 million is not even a bottom line. And that is, depending on whether we can get the permitting also. The third option they gave, and I believe the figure was $95,000, was a temporary repair, which would only last a couple of years. And that was contingent on, where did I write that down? Regular maintenance being performed religiously, which isn't being done now. Right now, for regular maintenance, we have, if you look at both sides of the bridge, one side's in New Hampshire, one side's in Maine. The side from New Hampshire looks really good. I mean, we haven't cut any of the weeds down. There is actually a tree growing next to the bridge, and there's still about a ½ inch of sand and salt on the bridge. Maine DOT has asked for an E2 sign. We still don't have that up. And we had a heavy storm over the weekend, and Hussey Hill had a lot of runoff. So I have pictures of a lot of the damage a lot of even rocks came down. And the edges are, there's probably 2 inch on the edge that there's no shoulder left. So, I mean, we still need to do work on that. I'll pass this around. We'll just flip through, and you guys can look at those pictures, and we'll pass it around. So, the selectmen had told me that HEB had offered to do a workshop explaining their proposals, and I think that should actually be our first step, so we can let the selectmen know we'd like to have HEB come in.
I think that's a great idea. I saw that they did a proposal in
There's a culvert right
Wakefield,
here that goes across
and
the
I
road.
saw that, and I would make a motion
We
to
don't take
to have them
Yeah,
come in and
we're supposed to,
present
yeah, I work
their
with Dave, we do this
proposal.
all the time.
Okay,
Second.
You know, clean
Okay.
that culvert out, that's what it is.
all right.
That's why it's coming across the road. The
Why is that?
There's a culvert that goes across the
It's
road.
all, it's
full.
blocked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's full right up. I
It's
guarantee it.
gone.
Yeah,
You
that's why I
can't
took,
find
that's why
the
I
end
took
of
the
it.
picture of the culvert, because, I knew it was
Yeah,
part
we
of
used
the
to have to
problem.
clean that.
Did you see where it was, the edge of the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going under the road.
Have you talked to Joe about it, like called him or?
I was hoping he was gonna be here today, because I just took these pictures like 2 days ago. So, and unfortunately, he couldn't be here. So I will, I'll be sending him these photos. I think it's just.
I've seen them, but
Yeah.
Jay can look.
So right now, we have a motion on the table to suggest that HEB comes in to do a workshop explaining the proposals that they have and the pros and cons for each one,
So is this just for that bridge?
just for this bridge, yes.
Isn't New Hampshire not gonna do anything till like 2026 or something like that, or is that Wakefield?
That's Wakefield on Canal Bridge,
All right.
yeah.
Too many.
Probably both of them. I think that's when the money comes out for New Hampshire, the next batch.
Yeah, and actually, Milton has really no incentive to do anything with this bridge because it's not important for their residents. It's important for us. So I'm not very confident that we're going to get a positive response for Milton sharing
Hardly
with
plow
this.
that road. They hardly plow that.
Oh, and when I mowed alongside the road down there, they, just so for them to come back up to the H road to go to the pit, that's what either they go across the county road, well, they'll go across the county road loaded, or they come up the Hopper empty, like, the two pits out here on the H road, that's how they come up, the whole time that's how, they come up empty, instead of coming over, cause they coming over loaded, they'll come over empty, and come back up the H road.
So, I mean, it's, you know, we certainly, the powers that be certainly need to be in touch with Milton to see if they will do anything, but I'm not confident that they will, because it's not I don't see it being a priority for them. So anyway, motion on the table is to suggest that HEB come in for a workshop. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Anyone have any thoughts on the proposals, or do you want to wait until we have the workshop?
So the 1.4 million, what's that even do? Does that even do anything for us, or is that just wasting our money? Because you said there's one for 890,000, but what's the 1.4 million?
Well, the
It's a
difference is one,
longer
it's a
span.
bigger span.
Bigger
One is a
span.
40-foot span, the other's a 62.
All right.
How big is the one there now? How far is the bridge now? What's the span on the
Oh, gosh, I think it's about 20,
20?
but it's too narrow, too.
Oh, yeah.
The whole
So
thing.
you want to bring the road this way, right? They want to bring the bridge this way?
Yeah.
The bridge was originally designed to go straight up over Hussey Hill. That's one of the problems. That's actually, they've got to re-engineer the curve to make it safer than what it has been.
Well, that's what they're saying, is that, you know, that we would have to get we might not be able to get a permit to do it as is.
Yes, that's what I thought, too.
So,
Too tight a radius curve.
and then if we have to change that curve, then we get into the expense of eminent domain, because there's a house that would be affected. So there's private property that we would have to,
Well, there's two houses right there, right? Because you got the one right in the corner, and then there's a house right on top of the hill. Right when you come around the corner, there's a house right here, then there's another house.
I don't know if that's close enough that it would affect it. It's only,
If they had to do something with that curve, it'd probably affect both of them, if they had to do something with that curve. Because you'd want to make it not so narrow, you'd want to make it wider.
right. So, I mean, and depending on how much land they would need to take would depend on who would be affected.
think they
And we
had
can't,
four.
we can't even begin to calculate that at this point.
No.
So, until the permitting starts to go in, we just don't know. So, all right, so, at the next selectmen meeting, I'll make the suggestion that we have them come in for a workshop. Anything else on that, on Row Bridge? The grant applications, yesterday Cindy and I went to a stream crossing class, specifically designed to help us gear, the next round of grant applications. And my big takeaway from that is that the state, the Army Corps of Engineers, Inland Fisheries, they're all saying we have to do stream crossings. You know, the old round culverts are a thing of the past, and we're not going to get funding for that. So slip lining isn't going to work. We're not going to get money for slip lining. There's more, it costs more upfront to do the stream crossing. However, they last a whole lot longer. You're looking at, instead of a 20-year lifespan for a metal culvert, you're looking at 75 years for the stream crossing. I'm looking at doing West Shore Drive. Looking at, hopefully, if we can pull everything together, New Bridge. And I'd like to resubmit H Road with the stream crossing plan instead of what we submitted before.
So, stream crossing, so what are they looking for then?
What are they looking for?
I've got a packet, I can give you the book.
So they don't want us to take that culvert out and put the same culvert back in?
Nope.
So tell me what they want as stream crossing, so like,
Let me see if I have anything with me. But I have a ton of information at home. I can make sure that I can get it to you.
They pretty much want you to span it by 20% more than what the actual stream base is. And have a natural bottom. 50% of the grant is for fish and wildlife.
This is what I have right now. Well, I'll give that to you, and I'll come in and I'll put some information in your box.
Okay.
So, because I took the class back in, I think it was October. No, April. You went in April, right?
Yeah, I can give him my whole packet,
Okay.
and he'll have all the information.
And then that will explain what they're looking for. Did you talk to anyone about costing out?
the stream,
West Shore?
the stream crossing, the
Yeah.
slip lining. Well, I talked to Reggie, and he was supposed to get back to me, but I haven't heard from him.
Did you tell him that we were looking for a stream crossing
I did, he said
application?
I told him what we were looking for, and he said that he was gonna shuffle some, they're slowly getting into that with the business. Like, they've done a couple of them, but they're slowly starting to get into that now, so he was gonna talk to some higher people up that deal with that stuff. He doesn't do that, all he does is slip lining.
Oh, okay.
So he said he could give me some information, so I'm just waiting for him to give me some information.
Okay.
So that's all I'm waiting for right now.
All right,
I mean, so this picture right here, is this like what they want? Is it?
Yep. Yep.
yeah. That's one of them. They also have like boxed culverts that, but what they want to see is they want to see the stream to be natural. They want to see banks on the side of the culvert, yeah, inside the culvert, so like any wildlife, can walk through and
don't know much of wildlife walk through on West Shore Drive.
I know, I know. That's gonna be a,
Maybe a pretty tall moose, but I don't know.
no, they're thinking of like turtles and stuff like that, you know? Not any of the big critters. So, but if your contact there, wants to send me an email, any information, feel free to share my, my email or even my phone number if you, if you think that would be helpful with
I will.
getting done what we want done.
I could always talk to my dad, because he's always going to these classes and stuff like this, with his stuff at the water district and stuff like that, he's always going to classes. So I can ask if they've ever, I doubt they probably touched on this before, but but they go to classes all the time, so I can ask him.
Okay. And I'm sure he knows. What class is AWA? AWA is having a class on October 1st. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, that's the basic contractor class for erosion control.
Erosion control, did you know about that?
Certification, right?
There's like October 1st or something, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Yeah,
was
I'm
the
gonna
one
go
that we
to it.
went to that you wanted to go to?
Yeah, I guess I missed all about it, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna go to that one, but I didn't say anything about a fee or anything like that, so, in the email.
Would we pay 20 bucks?
Something like that. It depends on
I
who
think
runs it.
Whoever's putting it
I
on,
think the town pays for you.
yeah, but I think
I think you finally pay. I know when we did the flagging class, they paid me to do that. Sure, it's the same thing.
yeah, I think so, I mean, but I don't think it's a big deal, but they didn't say they were gonna send us any more information till like the middle of the month, this month.
Contact AWA.
Alright,
Contact them directly, and, because they can give you whatever information you need. I believe they also have the application on their webpage.
okay,
And, because you're gonna wanna get that anyway, because you need to be certified in shoreline zone.
yeah,
And that'll give you the certification. So, but yeah, so, I'll need you to get, West Shore and H Road
okay,
prices, so we know what to apply for. The maximum grant is gonna be is $95,000.
alright,
I still have the letter from the fire chief that he gave us, for the last
because
round.
I mean, nothing's gonna change, it's gonna be the same
Right.
thing, I mean, the impact it'll have, I mean,
Right.
but it is what it is if we do it.
But they changed the format a little bit of the application itself, they made it a little more simplified. So where it's gonna be easier for me. And then the technical questions, the costing, we'll need your help with, and also maybe some history,
Okay,
which your father gave us last time.
alright,
So those will be things that we'll need again. And the last thing I have right now is the turnaround easements. Now you said you needed Hawk Road.
did I say another one? I don't know if I said another one.
Bustle, you don't need Bustle, do you?
Well, but the only thing we do is plow it, but on the.
No, I know, but you don't turn around on private property, right?
No, I make the guys just plow the hot top, we plow it off to the side, and is that what you guys used to do?
Oh, I never plowed that.
Oh, that's right, yeah, that's right, no, that's the wrong side I'm getting off. Yeah, we just plow the hot top, and Pat usually just plows off to the side, and we just sand it, and we go, then we turn around right there at the intersection before you start down the
Right,
Buzzell.
so you don't need an easement then on Bustle?
No, well, I mean, I knew there was always talk about us going, possibly plowing it, but I didn't think,
Yeah, this is, what I actually, and was it, sorry, it's just Hawk Road and Willow then? It was,
Willow Street, yeah.
and who owns those properties?
I'll have to come in and see, but I have to probably go see Ken for that. I can probably see Jennifer.
Do you know who owns them?
When the town accepted Hawk Road, they accepted it as before they redid the 911, and they called it Fred Woods Road.
They called it what?
Fred Woods. The town accepted 1/10 of a mile there. And the town stops, it goes in around the corner, and there's a driveway on your right. that's where Fred Woods lived. And that's where the town accepted to his driveway,
Yeah, okay.
okay? And what the town did for many years is they'd plow in past the driveway, and then they'd back straight up into that driveway that's on the left, and they would leave. Where they started going eventually, I can't tell you, but there was no easement other than Fred Wood's driveway. That's what they verbally said, you could turn around there, but with the trucks, it just wasn't feasible. Willow Street, when the town accepted that, there was a turnaround, because Colby Rick is the one that put that development in, and he owned acres and acres. That's where Pepin's got their property from, was from Colby Ricker. And when the town accepted that road, there was a turnaround laid out at the end of Willow Street. As time went on, the town allowed houses to be built and have driveways in where the turnaround was laid out for the subdivision and when the town accepted the road. So now what you have is people, their driveways basically are in what was a turnaround.
Because this winter, there's a gentleman on the end, so you come into Willow Street, we push everything to the right in the beginning, there's a gentleman that let us turn around his driveway, but if we had like the big trucks, we'd have to back down and then back up, but he always let us turn around his driveway, if we just push the snowbank out at the end.
Well, we used to back into, at the very end, there was that A-frame up on the left, used to belong to Dave Peters, and would plow all the snow to the right, back up into his driveway, and then leave. So it's a quandrum down there now, and it's the same type of deal. The town does have the easement. It's documented. But the town has also allowed people to use part of that easement as their own property.
Can you look at this for a minute? I've got the maps up for Hawk Road. If you can show me what property you use their driveway in.
So this is Hawk Road,
This is Hawk, yeah, here's 109.
so we go around that corner right there, then that right there, is that driveway that Dan's talking about, we turn around like right there.
Number 42?
Yeah, that seems right, number 42, because as I turn around, it's always muddy right there, so we'd always have to, like when we do spring cleanups, we always just clean it up a little bit.
All right, let me,
Will said he hasn't been able to get a hold of the information on Hawk Road, so I told him I probably got something and I'll give it to him. The Warren article, the year the town accepted that.
this looks like, is it just a lot?
There's a house there,
Yeah,
there's like a hot top driveway there, and then there's just like a little turnaround right there, then that stream runs down through there, there's a culvert right there that runs out by that guy, by
When I
somebody's
pull-
yard.
When I pull up the assessor's information, there's no building on it.
there was a mobile home there for many, many years. I don't know what's there now. I haven't really paid much attention. When Fred Woods moved in there, from Farnham's Hill, that's when it went to town meeting, and the town accepted it as a town way.
Yeah, according to the map, it's 0.4 acres, there's no building.
Well, everybody knows that the town maps really aren't that, up to date, so.
Okay, but that's the property,
Yeah, because we plow past that guy on the right's house, and there's a little turnaround right there that we always turn around at. Well, we always plow the snow up and do, so the people that come out on the private side can come out and usually back up, and we plow out.
That's why that road was traditionally plowed with a pickup. Because if you put a bigger truck like we'll be using out here on the H road, he's not turning it around.
That's why usually one of the guys on the one ton will plow it.
all right, so let's look up Willow. And you can tell me which one you... I don't have a very good signal. Okay,
So there's West Shore Drive, so we
Yeah.
come all the way up in here, and there's where we turn around, right here. There's a drive that goes out into here, then there's a house up here, and we just push all the snow here, and we back into that gentleman's driveway.
right here?
Yeah, or it's this one up
Or is
here.
this looks like a right-of-way.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, this is the, it looks like the developer, was that, so he still owns, the developer still owns land?
No, Colby Ricker, I believe he's long since passed. I don't believe he owns any of
See,
that
because this is,
property.
all right, for that right-of-way, this is the property it's attached to.
yeah, because there's a guy that owns a road that goes out there, and there's a house or something out there, I guess, or that the guy right here in this house, the gentleman told me that, because he comes up every once in a while with his tractor, and he'll snow blow out into wherever he goes. But we just plow up into here, like we just plow up, like there's kind of like, it's kind of like a little grade there, we just plow it up.
It goes uphill.
And it goes uphill, and there's a house right here, there's that house right there on the left, and we make sure that driveway's not blocked, and we back into this gentleman's driveway right here, and we push the snow in front of his driveway, and we leave.
Here, here, here.
Yeah,
Show me where.
so.
You come up here?
Yeah, up here, then we push all the snow right into here.
In here?
Yeah, and then there's a house right here, there's a driveway.
Right here?
Yeah,
Is that this one?
Yeah.
Or is it on,
no, it's right here, this has gotta be the end of the road then.
okay,
So there's a house right here.
all right, so that's gotta be this one.
Yeah,
All right, let's look at this. Does that look right?
yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Let's find out who owns that. Because those are the people that we need to contact to get to have them give you an easement. Okay. All right, so,
Well, see, this is the problem, Leslie, is, and I agree with what you're saying, and hopefully they would do that, but the town, when they accepted the subdivision, came with a easement for a turnaround.
But it hasn't been finished.
Exactly, it was
And
never
it's not,
finished.
and
Yeah,
the
so it-
town doesn't get in and finish subdivision work.
After it was a town road, though. I'm not talking about the subdivision, when they accepted that as a town road.
you'd have to look, well, actually, we have to look at the deed to see if the easement is on there, because if there's an easement there,
There is.
it would be on the deed.
Yep.
So, and I couldn't look because I didn't know where they were actually turning around, so I didn't,
Yep.
so that's what I needed to know
Yeah.
in order to start to do because if we already have the easement and we just don't know it, that's simple.
Right, a few years back, Scott was going to open that up in there, because through his research, he found that we did have the easement, but then it got into a, problem with the people that own the houses there.
You know, so,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh, I know.
And it's kind of like you guys talking tonight about road bridge. Okay? When Scott was working towards this, and he came to the selectmen about what was going on, and as, just like with road bridge, the road committee started this road bridge thing almost 2 years ago. Okay? And you're no farther ahead right now than you were 2 years ago, other than the fact you've got an engineer's report.
that's progress.
So, in 2 years, you've got an engineer's report, so you get the engineer's report, and you come to the Board of Selectmen, and you want to go to the next stage, all right? And they threw it out. They wouldn't let you let it go any farther.
Yeah, but Dennis, the problem is we're an advisory board. We have no power to,
No, I appreciate this, but 2 years, the bridge hasn't been cleaned off. And the right-hand side where the town used to mow, a couple of years ago, they did some of it. And wanting to meet with the engineer, I appreciate that, and it's an issue, but you keep advising, and you keep bringing all these things out, and God love Pat Stevens, he did go down and fix the cement work, it looks pretty good, but nothing's changed. The DOT says this has to be done. The state has told the town of Acton in writing, this has to be done. You need to do this, and you need to clean it up, you need to do this, and it just doesn't happen.
but Dennis, what do we, you know, all we can do is tell them it needs to be done, and we can't make them do it.
I appreciate that, and maybe the townspeople need to do a petition to force them into doing some of this stuff, because the truth of the matter is, this issue has been going on for a long time. You've had people leave your committee because nothing will move forward. Say, yeah, we'll do something, and then nothing's done. Absolutely nothing's done. And as a taxpayer, and as a volunteer in this town, I find it very frustrating, and I'm not criticizing the road committee by any stretch of the imagination.
I understand what you're saying.
But you get out there with what's up in Acton, and the negative stuff that's towards the road committee, that's causing these problems, or the finance committee, or whatever, and it's just rumor. It makes you guys look bad, and there's certain people that believe this, and you guys are the problem. You're not the problem. The problem is with the people that were elected, that really makes the decisions. And I'll probably ramble on forever, so I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, I mean, and hopefully they will at some point take to heart what we're saying. In the meantime, all we can do is keep saying it. I mean, a lot of our roads have a lot of problems. The town part of my road has a 6-inch round piece of pavement missing in one of the driving lanes. I don't know. Do I anticipate that's gonna be fixed anytime soon? Nope. Unfortunately.
Problem's getting old, and I'd like to see some of this stuff taken care of.
So, I mean,
I'm older than you are, Dennis.
Thank you for listening.
back to the easements, I'll look into the deeds on these, and,
Didn't they, selectmen, at least one selectman, say something about, when Hawk Road was brought up, I heard mention something about, the turnaround was where somebody's septic system was?
Well, I talked to a gentleman on the road, and that piece of property I think you were talking about, there's no house on it. but this is what he told me, he was gonna buy it, or something like that, but somebody's septic system is on that property.
So there would need to be an easement for that, too.
Yeah, that's what he,
He turned it around on top of
No.
something.
well, this is what he told me, because he looked at the tax map.
Not necessarily, Leslie, because in the day, if Ron and I live next to each other, and for example, if I had this 4.4 acre lot,
And you allowed him to put, yeah,
hey, Ron, you mind if I put my septic system over there in your property? Nah, what do I care?
the only problem is in this day and age, when properties change hands,
It gets to be very sticky.
it can be, yeah,
Oh, I appreciate that, but I wouldn't, the time period, I would doubt it. If it's there, that somebody had an easement, I would doubt it. That's just not how we did business then.
That's
also,
just
all right,
what,
so you think there's a septic system?
that's what the gentleman told me, because he was gonna buy, because that
So-
property there butts his, and he was gonna buy it.
If there is, I would hope that code enforcement would have record of that.
Well, I think so, that's why I was gonna go talk to Ken, but I,
Yeah.
because,
So I can, you know,
Well, some of the lots, when they have records prior to building a new town hall, because like when Prescott was the building inspector, he was over there by his lumber, and everything was there. They
Right.
had the, they were written, and nothing was kept. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Kenny doesn't have a record of it, I'm just saying, there's a lot of records when people got done, they said, see you later.
right. All we can do is our due diligence in trying to get the answers. So, I will, you know, we can start researching this now that I have the actual locations. So, see what it is we need to do. Anyone have anything? That's all I've got right for today. No, Denny, welcome. Glad you could make it.
Yep.
Any public comment?
Well, I got lots I'd like to say, but don't feel comfortable when someone's not around to answer the questions.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second?
second.
All in favor?